Alright guys, buckle up, because Genshin Impact's 6.x cycle is already shaping up to be one of the most chaotic and exciting stretches we've seen in years. Today, I'm breaking down the full banner roadmap we've got from 6.1 all the way to 6.7. And let me tell you, this thing is packed with surprises. We're talking brand new 5 stars, harbingers stepping into the spotlight, long-awaited lore legends like Varka finally becoming playable, and even some really unusual banner strategies that have the whole community buzzing. Now, quick reminder before we dive in, none of this is officially confirmed yet. What I'm sharing comes from credible leakers, PV breakdowns, and Hoyoverse's past patterns with region launches. But honestly, that's half the fun, analyzing the leaks, comparing them to history, and seeing how Hoyo might be shaking things up this time. And just so you know, I'll also mix in some personal takes, because this roadmap isn't just about who is coming, but why Hoyo is lining things up this way, and what it says about their new approach to monetization and banner pacing. So with that said, let's start right where the fireworks begin. Save up to 25% on the current banners at lootbar.gg, especially for the Nod Cry release. Lootbar is offering the all-in-one pack and the 6,480 pack for only $69 compared to $100 in-game. That's a $31 saving. I just entered my UID and selected my server. In less than 5 minutes, the gems appeared in my account. As you can see, I received double the amount for my first purchase, just like with in-game top-ups. And remember, the double bonus for your first purchase has been reset in 6.0. Beyond Genshin, you can also top up in Honkai Star Rail. Lootbar has over 100,000 satisfied users, and also supports PS5 and Xbox top-ups. New users can get an extra 10% discount, while returning users get 5%. The link is in the description. Patch 6.1. According to HamDG Cat, a leaker with an almost spotless track record when it comes to banners, 6.1 is absolutely stacked. Headlining the patch is Nefer, a brand new 5-star Dendro catalyst from the new region, Nod Cry. That part's not shocking. Hoyoverse almost always launches a fresh region with a shiny new local character. But what really had jaws hitting the floor were the reruns alongside her. We're talking Furina and Zhongli in the same patch. Yeah, 2 Archons lined up together. That has literally never happened before. Normally, Hoyo treats Archon reruns like rare collector's items, spacing them out one at a time. Think about it. Venti, Raiden, Nahida, all of them got solo reruns. Even when characters lined up closely, like Nahida with Alhaitham and Fontaine, Hoyo made sure to stagger them. But now, suddenly, Furina and Zhongli dropping side by side in 6.1. That feels like a deliberate move to go straight for players' wallets. And honestly, who could blame them? Furina is still one of the most impactful Hydro units in the game, thanks to her insane team-wide buffs and utility. Zhongli's shield still trivializes half the game's content years after release. And then you've got Arlecchino, one of the most popular pyro carries right now, and Nefer making her big debut. Together, this might actually be the most monetization-heavy patch Hoyo has ever attempted. So let's talk about Nefer for a second. Her leaked kit revolves around something called Lunar Bloom, which is basically a new Dendro reaction from Nod Cry. Think of it as a cousin to Nilu's Bloom. Constant AoE ticks, but with a twist. Early leaks suggest she might even replace her charged attack with some kind of Bloom-related mechanic. Exact damage numbers aren't pinned down yet, but her design makes sense in today's meta. Hydro and Dendro synergy still dominate, so she slots right in. And if you start thinking team synergy, it gets even more obvious. Zhongli's shield protecting her while she sets up blooms, Furina amplifying team-wide damage on top. It almost feels intentional, like Hoyo is saying, here's your ready-made comp. Roll these banners together and you're set. But of course, it's not all sunshine. The real anxiety with 6.1 is over the weapon banners. If Nefer ends up in the same phase as Zhongli, her shiny new signature catalyst could get paired with the Vortex Vanquisher. And we all know the reputation that thing has, widely considered one of the weakest 5-star weapons in the game. Players are already joking. Zhongli's real signature weapon is still the 3-star Black Tassel, and you can practically feel the dread in community posts. Please don't pair Nefer with Zhongli. I'll lose my mind. Now the good news is that the phases aren't confirmed yet. Best case scenario, Nefer and Furina anchor phase 1, while Arlecchino and Zhongli take phase 2. Worst case, Nefer gets stuck with Zhongli, and the dreaded Vortex Vanquisher bait banner detonates. Personally, I'm betting Nefer launches in Phase 1 since that's tradition for new 5 stars. But we've had curveballs before. Eula in 1.5, Emily in 4.8, both appeared in Phase 2, so nothing's set in stone. The other big surprise in 6.1 is what's missing. Historically, whenever a new region drops, Hoyoverse brings back the previous region's Archon, or big headliners almost immediately. We saw it with Raiden and Kazuha after Inazuma, and again with Nahida and Alhaitham right after Fontaine. But in Nodcry, Hoyo completely skipped Natlan reruns. Instead, we're jumping straight into Archons, Harbingers, and Nefer. That's a big break from the old playbook, and it suggests they're more willing than ever to shake up their patterns. Next up, we've got 6.2, and this one is huge for lore fans. Durin, the corrupted dragon from Kynria's history who once attacked Mondstadt, finally steps into the game as a playable human form. He's been teased in lore for years, and now he's about to be real. The community's already given him a nickname, Big Xiangling. And that's not just a meme, it's actually a really good way to describe him. Xiangling has been one of the strongest 4-star characters since launch, thanks to Guoba, and especially Pyronato, which constantly applies pyro off-field. That's what enabled so many vaporize and melt comps and made the national team a staple for years. Now imagine a 5-star version of that concept. That's Duran. The leaks describe him as a sustained off-field pyro applier with higher scaling, plus some extra utility layered in. He might bring buffs, maybe even healing or shielding. Details are still unclear. But the idea is, he's not just an enabler. He's a flexible sub-DPS who glues teams together. That's where the Big Xiangling meme really comes alive. If he really works like an upgraded Pyronato user who isn't locked into one specific team, he could end up being one of the most versatile pyro characters we've ever had. Normally, this is where I'd try to predict reruns, but honestly, the old patterns don't mean much anymore. 6.1 already broke the rulebook. 2 Archons in the same patch, 0 Natlan reruns. Hoyoverse isn't playing by their old rhythms. So instead of throwing darts in the dark, let's just stick to what's actually leaked. Durin is coming in 6.2, and he's looking spicy. Then comes 6.3, which might actually be the true headline of this whole Nodcry arc. The big name here is Colombina, one of the Fatui Harbingers. She's been hyped ever since that Harbinger teaser trailer dropped back in 2022, and leaks consistently rank her near the very top of the strength charts, right alongside Alice. Everything about her screams, meta-defining unit. We're talking Archon-level hype. If even half the leaks are true, 6.3 could be the must-pull patch of the cycle. Now, along with Colombina, there are whispers about something called the White Horse Adeptus possibly joining the roster. That name's floated around in a few leaks, though credibility is lower. Some people think it could be another Adeptus joining the cast, maybe tied to Liyue lore. Could be real, could be smoke. Either way, 6.3 is shaping up to be massive, thanks to Colombina alone. And now we reach one of the most controversial parts of this roadmap, patch 6.4, when Varka finally arrives. This guy has been teased since the very beginning. Grandmaster of the Knights of Favonius, Razor's mentor, Mondstadt's missing legend. People have waited literally 5 years to finally see him become playable. And yes, leaks say he's finally coming in 6.4. But then comes the bombshell. Some leaks claim that after his launch, Varka will be moved into the standard banner in 6.5. And oh man, the community did not take that well. Reddit, Discord, Twitter, it was chaos. People were raging, memeing, swearing they'd uninstall the game if it were true. And I get it. After all that anticipation, the idea of Varka just becoming another random standard banner pull feels brutal. Now, to be fair, Hoyoverse has done this before. Tignari got added to standard in 3.0, Dahaya in 3.6, and most recently Mizuki in 5.5. So there is precedent. And if the leaks about Varka's kit are accurate, a Nemo Claymore, focused more on utility and field control than pure DPS, then it kind of makes sense. Hoyo tends to put solid, versatile, but not meta-breaking characters into standard. Tignari with his quick swap Dendro, Dehia with her mitigation mechanics, Mizuki with her support kit, Varka would fit that mold. But there are contradictions. Adding Varka would mean 3 Anemo 5 stars in the standard pool. Jean, Mizuki, and now Varka, while Gio still has 0. Plus, Mondstadt already dominates the standard pool with Diluc, John, and Mona. Would Hoyo really double down instead of adding someone from Fontaine or Nodcry? From a business perspective, making Varka standard would also leave a lot of money on the table. He's one of the most hyped characters left in the backlog. So, yeah, it's a credible rumor, but I wouldn't bet everything on it just yet. Until Hoyo confirms it on stream, I'd say don't panic. Worst case, if it does happen, at least you can guarantee him later with a standard selector. But I get why people feel betrayed. After 5 years of waiting, they wanted him to be a powerhouse limited unit, not a consolation prize. After Varka, things get fuzzier. Patch 6.5 doesn't have a clear headliner yet. Some whispers say a new female character might drop, but nothing solid enough to take seriously. Patch 6.6 is tied to Nicole in speculation. She's part of the Hexen Circle, the witch group, and Hoyo does love tying witch characters into late arc story beats. Still, more theory than leak right now. And then in 6.7, we've got Sandrone, the marionette harbinger. That one actually has a bit more credibility, since she's often been paired in speculation as Colombina's follow-up. But again, take it with a grain of salt. Now let's talk rankings. Based on those PV strength leaks, here's where characters stand right now. Top tier, Colombina and Alice. These two are expected to be absolute game changers, the kind of units that completely reshape team comps and rival Archons in importance. Second tier, Durin and Nicole. Strong supports or sub-DPS units, reliable, useful, but not quite meta-warping. Third tier, Varka, Flins, Nefer, and Lauma. Solid performers, definitely worth pulling if you like their kits, but not breaking Abyss records. Bottom tier, the two Nodcry 4-stars we know so far, Aino and Jehovah. Like most 4-stars, they'll probably have niche roles or sleeper potential, but they're not expected to dominate. When you zoom out and look at the whole roadmap, it paints a clear picture of Hoyoverse's shifting strategy. 6.1 breaks two patterns at once, the first double Archon rerun patch, and the first time we don't immediately see reruns from the previous region. 6.4 brings Varka with the possibility of him going standard, which would be a huge shakeup in how hype lore characters are handled. And the rankings show that only a couple characters, Colombina and Alice, are really being set up as must-pulls, while the rest are strong but more balanced. So what does this mean for you as a player? If you're new, 6.1 might feel like Christmas. Multiple Archons, a Harbinger, and a brand new 5-star all in one patch. That's insane value. If you're a veteran though, it might feel like Hoyo is turning the monetization dial up to max, reshaping rerun pacing, breaking traditions, and testing how far they can push banner shakeups. Personally, I think this is Hoyo testing a new philosophy. Less predictability, more shock value, and a willingness to throw even long-awaited legends like Varka into the standard pool if it suits their design goals. But that's just my take. What about you? Would you be excited to get Varka as a standard freebie selector down the line? Or would that feel like a slap in the face after 5 years of waiting? Are you going all in on Nefer and her Lunar Bloom playstyle in 6.1? Or are you saving for Colombina in 6.3? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because honestly, this might be one of the most important banner roadmaps we've ever seen in Genshin. And that's going to wrap up this deep dive into Genshin Impact's 6.1 to 6.7 roadmap. From Nefer's big debut and the double Archon madness, to Duran finally stepping out of lore, Colombina's must-pull hype, and the messy debate around Varka's fate, there is a lot to keep an eye on. If you found this breakdown helpful and you want more deep dive analysis, banner predictions, community reactions, meta discussions, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. Save up to 25% on current banners at lootbar.gg, links in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.